Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, before sitting down to cast this game, we saw trailers for Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, and Roadhouse. And so we came to the only conclusion we could possibly come to, and that is that we are all living in a simulation, and a simulation where Hollywood has run out of all of its creativity. Now, Hollywood aside, luckily, in this simulation, we still have Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. And so we sit down to watch what I can only describe as some kind of duel of the fates here, as Hoang, playing as the Bohemians in blue, gets ready to take on none other than Hera, playing as the Persians in red. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with Duck Duck Goose and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Why is there a random Persian villager heading out into the middle of the map, loomless, by the way, and already taken 11 HP of damage? Hera pulls his scout back. He does not want me to go through the Civ introductions. He says, you know what, Isaac? Your audience has already seen the Persians. They've already seen the Bohemians. Has he seen Hoang's base? Oh, I don't know why the screen went black there. No, he okay, never mind. He's seen the lemon bush. I'm wondering if this villager is just a scouting villager for some kind of, the Persians, if you're familiar, like to do a little thing called a Persian douche, where they drop a town center right in front of you. But while that happens, let's see what is in fact going on. She does have a hammer in her hand. We'll see. If there is a Persian douche, you'll see this town center get deleted, and then that'll be absolutely, I mean, Hoang and Hera, as if that's not entertaining enough. For now, Hera attempting to lame the wild boar of our Bohemian. And by the way, the Bohemians, let's get into the Civ introduction. There's another villager. How the hell did he sneak that villager? I didn't even see that villager come forward. The Bohemians, a civilization that pushes its players towards gunpowder units. I feel so silly going through my Civ introduction as the first kill of the game at the 3:45-minute mark. Hoang loses a villager, loses the boar. Hera softened up the boar enough with the villager that the scout could kill it, and that basically means no meat on the bones for this boar. But Hera does lose one of his own villagers. The kills are now even 1-1. It shows here that our Persian did lose a villager to Mother Nature. So Hera has lost 2 villagers, which is why he's down 11-12. Can I please finish my Civ introductions? We'll see, by the way, if this is in fact a douche. Uh-oh. Hera's now going to lose a second, rather third villager. 2 to Hoang, 1 to Mother Nature. And look at that. Our Bohemian is secure. So unlike every other game that I've casted so far on this channel, I'm going to start talking about the civilizations at the 5-minute mark. The Bohemians. I feel so silly doing this. Hera's not done. He's not done. I got to rush through my Civ intros. I got to rush through this. But I won't. I like taking my time. I love reviewing the civilizations. For those of you who don't like it, you feel free, obviously, to skip forward. If you're saying, you know what, I know what the Bohemians are all about. You know, monks that cost food, howitzers, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing new here that you can tell me. And look at this. Hera Rorschachs these villagers, walls them in with him. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to do the Civ intro. If you don't like it, feel free to mute and just watch the absolute chaos unfolding in front of our very eyes. For now, the town center for our Persians is still up, so no douche just yet. The Bohemians, a civilization that pushes its players towards gunpowder units by making the chemistry upgrade and therefore hand cannoneers available in Castle Age, and having an upgrade that actually increases the speed of all of its gunpowder units. But they are not a one-trick hand cannoneer pony. They do have access to 2 other very powerful, unique gunpowder units. The first is their first unique unit, the Hussite Wagon. This is an incredibly tanky, powerful siege unit that is sometimes referred to as the mobile wall, because it does actually protect units behind it by cutting the damage to them in half. The second is the Haufnitze, the howitzer I was talking about a minute ago. This is an upgraded version of the bombard cannon, one that comes with more HP, better armor, higher damage, wider blast radius, and a massive 250 attack bonus against buildings. But before you get too antsy in the pantsy and excited about this, the cost of upgrading your bombard cannon to a Haufnitze actually costs more than going up to Imperial. So money management is going to be very important if Hoang wants to go that route. Not to provide backup for their expensive, powerful gunpowder units, the Bohemians do have a few quirky bonuses. Their spearmen, of all things, deal 25% more bonus damage than you can. as I mentioned earlier, another villager down. You can upgrade. You can actually, I like to use the word evolve your entire monk line by researching an upgrade that replaces the entire gold cost of monks and upgrades, rather monk upgrades, with food, essentially turning Bohemian monks into trash units in Imperial Age. Now, as we all know, gunpowder units are pretty darn expensive, to help you pay for them, universities and blacksmiths are cheaper. Mining camp upgrades are free, which does help out significantly. Their markets work 80% faster, and their villagers are harder to raid because they do benefit from the 2 monk upgrades that make them move faster and have 15 more HP. I am, of course, referring to Fervor and Sanctity. That is our Bohemian. It is not every day I finish going through the civs at the 9.5-minute mark. This has to be a Persian douche. This absolutely has to be some kind of douche. Hera here pushing out as many villagers as he can. I'm assuming once he gets here. Does Hoang have any indication that this is coming? He will in a second. This is like the beginning of the movie 300, where that little boy is found in the village with the tree of dead bodies, and he goes, out of the dark, they came from the darkness, the Persians, and in they come. Let's see it. Let's see it. Get rid of it. You know you want to. Hera's in. We should be seeing this go down any second now. Unless I'm completely mistaken, in which case you are looking at a town center right as a whole bunch of villagers here. I guess build a house? A few houses? There it is. There it goes. Falling into a whole bunch of dust, and there's the Persian. Oh my god. So I didn't know what to expect in a game where one player has almost 600 elo more than the other. Now, against other players of the 2274 elo, I would probably not cast that game. I shouldn't say against all, but most. But when it's Hoang, you know you got to cast. Now, do I wish Hoang was Celts? Sure. The king of the Celts taking on Hera. But he has been practicing a lot with the Bohemians. Speaking of civilizations, let's finish up with the Persians, an economic powerhouse with a tech tree that is both incredibly strong and diverse, in addition to getting access to all of the economic upgrades in the game. And you heard that right. Every single economic upgrade available in the game. They do start the game with extra food and wood. Their town centers work progressively faster right in Dark Age. So Hera is in Dark Age. This town center works 5% faster, pumping out villagers, and they can be a pain in the ass to raid because their town centers, take a look at the bottom of your screen, 4,800 HP compared to the usual 2,400, which, by the way, just like the Koreans, who are classified as a defensive civilization and use all of their defensive features offensively, that is exactly what we are witnessing right now. A tango of a double HP town center attacking another one. Now, their castles can also be upgraded to take less damage and fire more powerful bullets instead of arrows. And by the way, those bullets come with an attack bonus against rams and infantry. Now, using their economic advantages, the Persians do focus heavily on cavalry unless they do something sneaky like this. Their Nightline units come with an extra attack bonus against archers, and using every single upgrade from the stables and the blacksmiths, the Persians actually field 2 unique cavalry units. So interestingly, one civilization with 2 unique gunpowder units, one civilization with 2 unique cavalry units. The first needs 0 introduction. I am talking about the chunkiest of the chunkiest, the War Elephant. Massive amount of hit points, powerful attack, does trample damage, but is both super expensive and still, on the whole, kind of slow. The second is one that I always want to see, the Savar. This is a heavy cavalry unit that replaces the Persian Paladin and comes with an additional attack bonus against archers. Now, to support their cavalry, the Persian archers and crossbows can be upgraded to turn them into trash units that basically cost only wood, 0 gold. Or if you prefer to be a little bit more mobile with your archers, the Persians do get Parthian tactics an age earlier in Castle Age. Another similarity between the civilizations. One gets chemistry in Castle Age, one gets Parthian tactics in Castle Age. So, douche aside, it could have potentially been a very interesting late game matchup, these two civilizations. On the whole, in theory, they do have some similarities on paper, but in practice, I'll take a War Elephant over a Hafnitsa, please. Although, we'll see if we even get to the late game. I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried that this game would end about 10 or 15 or even 20 minutes in, with Hera just absolutely steamrolling the Bohemian. Again, look at the Elos, 2834 to 2274. And yet, Hoang is in Feudal Age. Hoang has 175 wood. Soon he's going to have enough wood to rebuild the town center. Hera knows that, busts into the wood line, tries to get some kind of damage done. Hoang unfortunately has to pull a few lumberjacks off and fight this. And now we've got 11 to 8 villagers. We've got an absolute brawl happening here. This is a wedding between the what are the two famous Scottish clans that hate each other? And the oh my god, I know one of them is the MacLeod, the Hackfields, something like that, and the MacLeods. They're known every time there's a wedding or every time there's an event. There's these two dueling Scottish clans that are always brawling with one another, or we can just say soccer hooligans. My red team beats your blue team, Bloods and Crips. There's a lot of analogies that can be drawn here, but for now, what we're seeing is an absolute mess of a game. 8 kills to 11. Hera seriously ahead in the villager count, has not stopped villager production. Hoang missing that town center for a long time. He is not the Sicilians, he is not the Spanish, so he's gonna have to wait a while to get that town center up. More and more villagers are dying. 14 dead Bohemian villagers, 11 dead Persian villagers. Make that 12, make that 15, make that 13, make that 16. They are just ripping into each other here. Behind this, Hera actually has an economy, whereas Hoang is down to 14 villagers. 11 of them are idle, but he does have the infrastructure. Usually when you go douche, you leave behind a very decentralized base behind you. I think I said the word behind twice in that sentence, which was not intentional. So if you're going this route, you have to be very comfortable not having one glommed up, concentrated base. You have to be very comfortable knowing that you've got a little bit here, a little bit over there, and micro it, accordingly, which is, believe me, easier said than done. ACCM has a YouTube channel where he has videos of these top players and their micro, and now the villagers, okay, now it's Hera's turn to idle his economy a little bit as the villagers chase these archers. What the hell got both of them? The town center? Oh, okay, 4 kills for the town center. 2 villagers, 2 archers. ACCM has a YouTube channel where he recorded, I want to say like 5 years ago, 4 years ago, players like the Viper, Hera, Mr. Yo, as they actually play, and as you can imagine, switching between screens and switching between different areas of the map. Oh my goodness, it makes you dizzy just looking at it. I love, by the way, that Hera placed a house here. So he knows the town center is there. It gives him a little tiny bit of vision, not a lot, a little bit of vision. I suspect he initially put that house up there to kill as many Blue's villagers as possible. And now Blue is moving out. He knows that when your opponent drops a town center, behind is left a whole bunch of his infrastructure. And so I think this is actually the first time Hoang is heading out on the map. 22 minutes in. What an absolute bonkers game so far. A fairly standard town center drop style out of Hera, who again drops a town center, takes over. The location of the town center doesn't really lame a lot of Hoang's main important resources. He still has access to lumber. And with lumber, he has now access to farms. There's plenty of gold here that Hera is nowhere close to, which Hoang, by the way, is still mining. Has Hera seen this gold? Yeah, Hera hasn't even seen the gold or the stone. So he might do well to start getting eyeballs out on the map like Hoang, by the way. Not too sure what he's going to accomplish with 2 archers, but he has seen the farms. He must know that there are or were villagers, but they already absconded. They are here to the north. They are here to the south. So Hoang's gonna have to look very, very hard to find these villagers. And that's the name of the game. If you can, go back to your opponent's side of the map, or at least have some kind of scouting unit, or units plural, little clumps of archers out on the map, and try your darndest to get into these little nooks and crannies, because even with archer units, there is no way Hera can defend. I mean, he can try to attack the archers with 6 villagers. They are definitely gonna kill, I think, 2 Feudal Age archers. And now Hera discovers this primary stone of his opponent. I honestly, I just realized, saying primary stone, that I haven't even had a chance to review the location of resources. Will Hera discover the gold? And if so, will he put pressure? No, it looks like they're passing right. Oh, that is so sour for Hera. Missing out on that goal. What is he going to discover here? Some lumber. And now he's getting his own military infrastructure up. What does he have? He's definitely going up to Castle Age. Hoang is broke. but broke with 9 army supply to 0. Unfortunately for Hoang, 9 army supply is Feudal Age army supply, which attacks on a massive 5. And here we go. You can't really do much with this. This is, unless you put them all together, there's not too much that 2 archers are going to be able to do. Surprised Hera didn't finish this house. Trying to keep those archers out. Hoang is housed, by the way, or rather was housed a second ago. So now he's adding additional infrastructure. They have discovered the gold. So this is annoying for Hera, who I don't think has gold miners out on the map anywhere else. These are just 6 villagers here that he has. And here we go. If the archers aren't careful, these villagers will catch up. They will kill them. Movement speed for the archer, 0.96 tiles a second, 0.8 for our Persian, who probably wishes that the Persian villagers moved as fast as Berber villagers right now. It would give him a better chance. We'll keep an eye on that as, okay. 2 additional archers get cleaned up. I thought Hera was going to rush up to Castle Age. No, instead he dropped a whole bunch of food, training skirmishers and even more villagers. He's going up to 41 villagers. Our Bohemian is doubled from 14 to 28, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. Oh, when is the last time we've seen Sin Grenized attack with villagers, shirtless and muscular as they are? And in comes another villager. She wants part of the fun. Single-handedly destroys that palisade that's on fire. And here we go. Hoang, finally, something goes in his favor as 8 archers, 80% of his army count, does catch a bunch of these red villagers. 3 of them are heading back to mine gold. No, now they're farmers. The gold miners have become farmers. 6 have become 3. 3 have become 2. And now the archers are going to catch up. And this is exactly what Hoang needs to do. He needs to catch all of these little extremities that Hera has scattered around the map. Has he gone to the north at all? No, he hasn't seen the lumber operation here to the north. But with Hoang's army abroad, that just basically means his, I mean, to call this a forward position is pretty funny. The town centers are literally 20-something tiles away from one another. The archers return. They think they can take on skirmishers one at a time. They are probably not wrong, but those skirmishers will take a long time to die, even with high ground. And Hera springs the trap. And now Hoang's archers are going to get the Hera villager treatment. And by that, I mean the villagers over here, they got gunned down. 30 minutes into the game, both players are heading up to Castle Age. Wow. Hoang has managed to get Hera's villager count to 38, and he's at 33. This is absolute spectacular play out of our Bohemian. I mean, it's got to be a psychological battle to play the world's best player, get rushed, get one of your boars lamed, lose a villager here and there, and then get town center dropped, and still be around 31 minutes later. I mean, I don't really care who wins this game. It is a huge kudos to both players. Our Bohemian going cavalry. Interesting. Doesn't really have the resources, I don't think, to take advantage of hand cannoneers in Castle Age. Unfortunately for Hoang, it's our Persian who reaches the next age first. And oh, ouch. This is going to hurt. The mangonels, I'm assuming mangonels, probably not battering rams. I'm assuming the mangonels that come out of here are going to be pretty damn powerful. But it looks like our Bohemian with the food eco might want to go light cavalry. We'll see what he does. Has he discovered? Will he discover? No, still hasn't seen this. But I love that he's cleared up. 1, 2, 3. I mean, this was a ghost town when he came, so let's call it 2. Actually, this was also a ghost town when Hoang came, right? Okay, let's call it 1. He cleared up 1 of the fingers that Hera had out on the map, and uh-oh, now he discovers the other. Skirmishers, they don't care. Theirs is not to question why, it is but to do and die as they enter underneath the town center. I thought light cavalry, he's going knights. I definitely thought he would go light cavalry and go for mass quantity. But he's keeping his villagers in here a little bit too long as Hoang. And he's not really expanding to increase his food production. He's got 7 villagers on gold still there to the south. It looks like the Hera's villagers are fighting those skirmishers that discovered them up north. But Hoang has been mining gold here basically the entire time that Hera has pushed into him. And now Hera is taking a moment building up his infrastructure. Hoang is bringing a pet tiger along for the ride. So Hera's gonna probably get his army count to where he wants it to, and he is now housed. Oh no, he's housed and he's just now starting to build houses. Yikes. Bloodlines being researched for him. Hoang does not get bloodlines as the Bohemians. That's why you see a big X through the top left of your screen there. Has he stopped? And is he stopping at 1 mangonel? Yes, he is. And that mangonel's about to die. Down it goes. Retreat. Oh, a sour monk here for our Bohemians. Does get gunned down by these skirmishers. These 5 knights still virgins. No kills for them. 7 knights. Our Bohemian no longer in the army lead, but in terms of army composition, I would take 7 knights over 6 skirmishers. But Hera catches up in the knight department, and now his army is 30% bigger. But we'll see how long that lead lasts once these skirmishers get taken care of. Hera notices the monk tries to convert it. No, monk runs into the town center with 1 more hit before he dies. This is definitely sour for Hoang. What he has to do right now is run around this blue squircle. Have Hera take as much damage from this. Oh, not even fully garrisoned town center. Why are these villagers not inside? Have Hera. Oh, he loses a monk knight to a conversion, but Hoang also loses the monk. Have Hera run around as much as possible. Take as much damage from these arrows as possible. Because knights, strong as they are against units, against the town center, I don't know, with only 3 pierce armor against a 6 attack and projectile count of a 10, I don't know that Hera can stick around. And Hera agrees with me, decides to go back. Woodline has been decimated. Gold is back on the menu. Starting houses. What a weird bonkers game. I said it at the end of last night's game, at the end of yesterday's game with the Viper and Overtaken. The game is recently in this new patch, and I mean, I say in the new patch just because, like all of us, when a new patch is introduced, I'm not very happy that I lose access to all my old recordings and all that stuff, except for obviously the version right before. But since the new patch came out, the games have been a little wonky. And this is it's an absolute treasure of a game. 2 mangonels, 2 kills. Any friendly? No friendly fire. Hoang is barely holding on, and now our Persian, look at his villager count. 15% faster villager production. He is ahead 20 villagers as he begins his bombardment yet again with a 3rd mangonel added here. And what is Hoang going to do? He's still mining the gold. Hera is still mining his original gold. Now even more gold for our Bohemian. Okay, maybe go hand cannoneers at this point. Redemption. He wants to convert these mangonels. They have only 7 range to the 9 of his monks. Redemption and Sanctity. Remember, Sanctity is also going to affect his villagers. A cool feature of the Bohemians. Going for a knight as his mangonel pops out. Clips Hera's mangonel. Oh no, he loses it right as the villager. I'm assuming she was heading to repair. And that's it. Hoang lost his town center. And he doesn't have enough wood or stone to rebuild. Oh no. Good flattening there by our Persian mangonels. What wins here? 1 knight versus 2. If that knight is being... Why is this monk not healing his knight? He's healing a monk now. What the hell was that? Why is he not... Okay. Wow. I mean, I don't know if what your experience is, dear viewer, but mine of the high elo games recently has just been wonky bonkers games. And this was no exception. Hoang unfortunately died with not enough wood, 0 stone. I didn't catch what he did with his other 100 stone. I'm assuming he must have sold it. Otherwise, he would still have it. Hera, Shantytown. ghost town. Nothing here but 2 gold miners. And our Bohemian, I mean, 3 and 8, I believe, add up to 11, if I'm not mistaken. If a lifetime of abusing my body and brain have not taken its toll. 11 gold miners to oh no, okay, I was gonna say to Hera's 2, but nah. 2 plus 18. Hera's 20 gold miners. I could have just looked up here. I forgot it's only the loser whose villager allocation disappears in Capture Age. The winners still exists, and Hera is now 23 villagers ahead, which is literally 66.666666% bigger economy than his opponent. It looked like the town center drop for a while wasn't really working, but that could have been deceiving. That could have just been Hera building up his economy and, more importantly, building up his military. And eventually, if your economy is 66.66 ad infinitum bigger than your opponent's, this is what happened. Your opponent dies with 1 monk. Although, again, I wonder why that 1 monk wasn't healing that 1 knight. 1 knight being healed versus 2 basic knights? Maybe that 1 knight survives. Who knows? But he had a bunch of other red knights breathing down his neck. So our Persian going the Persian cavalry, our Bohemian trying to compete with that Persian cavalry, both of them sitting at 0 attack upgrades, 1 armor upgrade. I really do wonder if our Bohemian with 11 villagers on gold is not a lot, but it's also not a little, especially when your opponent only has 20. I mean, you don't know that, but you know that your opponent's economy is also a little bit crippled. I want to say not crippled, held back by the fact that he had to move all of his villagers across the map, or most of his villagers across the map, rebuild the town center, and then the crazy battles that happen here. But what an absolute delight of a game. You don't see the Persian douche very often in high elo games, just because I feel like players know how to defend against it. And in this case, Hoang knew how to defend against it perfectly. He didn't panic. He didn't lose his cool. He moved away. He built a bit of a wall off to keep Hera out. Hera busted in through 1 weak palisade gap. There was a brawl. Hatfields and McCoys. Hatfields. It was. Did I say McLeod's? I meant McCoy. Hatfield and McCoy, I want to say, is the 2 famous clans that are always fighting in. I guess somebody who obviously knows more than I do. Please let me know if I got that the names right. But Hoang doing fantastic. He pivoted away, not panicking, not collapsing under the pressure, continued gathering resources, went abroad on a bit of a villager killing expedition, and at the end of the day, look at the kill count. He killed 1 more villager than his opponent, which is not bad at all. Unfortunately, his opponent killed 20 more military, and that was bad. I think Hoang should have kept Hera running around here underneath the town center. Again, perhaps should have gone light cav. You know, I get it. Knight versus light cav sounds a little silly, but when you can pump out 2, 3, or even 4 units to the 1 of your opponent, knights are not going to do much against the town center. This is your real enemy. Like, well, what's the line from The Godfather? Our true enemy has yet to reveal himself, and Hera reveals it as the mangonels, because Hera's going to sacrifice knights all the live long day while these mangonels just destroy the infrastructure, 1 building after another. He knows his opponent's economy has been crippled, and he knows that he cannot keep using, or rather keep paying 275 gold wood every single time he has to rebuild a town center. And even though the Bohemians do have those cheaper universities and blacksmiths, I mean, I don't see a university and I see 1 blacksmith, and ultimately Hoang just succumbs to the battering ram that is the Persian military. In this case, let's take a look at the stats. 14 archers, 17 knights. I feel like he trained more knights than archers, but yeah, it is what it is. PKPM, Mr. Yo style right at the beginning of the game. PKPM for Hera a little bit lower than his usual 200 to 300 right at the end of the game. So it's always fun to see when the players click and queue and scroll and do all that shit the fastest. Nobody is gathering stone, because why the hell do you need it? Nobody's gathering relics. Also, no, ain't got time to bleed, says Jesse Ventura. Ain't got time for relics, say Hoang and Hera. A little bit more wood, a lot more food, and 700 gold. I don't think this is really determinative. Although it is, what is 700 more gold? About 10 knights? 6 conversions out of 41 is 15% of the Persian army became Bohemian. 5 out of 41 is about 12%. So good conversion counts for both players. 8 buildings demolished to 3. I wonder how much of those 8 were really critical. Obviously, we know 2 of those 8 were town centers, one over here, but I wonder if the other 6 are things like houses, maybe because he was attacking infrastructure towards the end there while he was biding his time with his knights, building up the meat shield for these mangonels. But I really do wonder if the other 6 were that important. And on the whole, Hoang holds for 41 minutes. 41 minutes against the world's best player, rushing him, laming his boar, and then just dislodging him from the Bohemian ancestral homeland. The Persians have reached the Czech Republic. I was going to say Czechoslovakia, but that country doesn't exist anymore. They have reached the Czech Republic. They have pushed, and with the loss of the last town center, Hoang just doesn't have the resources. He can definitely buy 100 stone, but then that cripples his gold, which means no more knights, which is exactly why I figured he would want to go light cav, but doesn't really matter. Let me know in the comments below. Number 1, who the hell are the 2 dueling clans? I think it's the Hatfields and the McCoys, if I'm not wrong. And I don't know why I said MacLeod, because anytime you think about anything Scottish, you immediately just think MacLeod, because that's basically what Hollywood knows about Scotland. And number 2, should he have gone a different army composition? Should our Bohemian have gone light cav monk instead of knight monk? I get the inclination to try to outpower your opponent, but you're already at a disadvantage. You don't have bloodlines. I mean, neither player has researched husbandry here. Do the Bohemians get husbandry? I'm trying to think. Yeah, they do. Okay. Doesn't really matter, though, at the end of the day. Hera, with the laming, with the pushing, and with the mob on mob action, takes the W in, again, a very fun game. This is exactly what I wanted to see between these 2 players. I did not just want to see Hera steamroll an opponent with 600 elo below him, and that is exactly what he got. I would not count 41 minutes as a steamroll. Hoang here putting up a valiant defense against the world's best player, but ultimately does succumb to the might of the Persian mangonel, loses his town center, taps out. Hera is victorious, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.